What the f is this?
Hey gamer, mostly all of my favorite multiplayer games have turned to the dark side. And by dark side, I mean trying to become Fortnite, Battle Pass, Item Shop, and that daily mission funny business that tries to get you emotionally attached to grinding their game so you end up entering your mom's credit card. Even my favorite game of all time couldn't get away without being touched by this darkness. Instead of bitching, I'm just going to go back to my safe place. The goal is simple: make a new character, play through all the story campaigns, grind my guardian up to level 390, and complete all 4 endgame raids. But first, some might ask, what even is a Destiny? Released in 2014 by Bungie, who made a little shooter for the Xbox you may have heard of. Destiny is an MMO looter shooter type game that wasn't initially received very well from players and critics. Bungie's hard work over the next decade by releasing more expansions, a sequel, and fostering a very loyal and dedicated community led to it being played by millions over a period of time most games can only dream of. Personally, I jumped in around the Taken King era, and holy, I have some great memories from this game. Let's get this thing going. First, let's make a new character. And being a longtime Warlock main and starting Destiny 2 as a Titan, I decided to go Hunter, to look the coolest but have the worst abilities. Then I make a custom face that I will never see again because I have my helmet set to on, as God intended. We are treated to a cutscene that defined my childhood. We are told that the Traveler, this moon-looking ass, arrived on Earth and brought about a golden age for humanity. But it turns out this round guy has some ops. Centuries into the golden age, this darkness caught up to the Traveler, and as the cutscene tells us,
And that was the end of everything.
how did a literal ball make humanity have a golden age? And what is this darkness? And how did its arrival lead to humanity's collapse? Man, I sure hope they explain it. We are taken to the Cosmodrome in Old Russia and meet our ghost, an agent of the Traveler, who finds our body and brings us back to life. With no weapon, we make a run for the nearby wall, with the Fallen, a race of space pirates, on our tail. We head inside, get our first gun, open a chest, and fight our way out, with our ghost telling us we need to find a ship to escape. As we push forward, we get our first level up and unlock a ability in our subclass. Let's quickly break down what all this stuff is. That big number is our character's base level. It's not very important because when you max it out at level 40, it doesn't really do anything. Next is a smaller yellow number, which is very important. That's our light level, which dictates how powerful our guardian is. We're called guardians, by the way. Our light grows by acquiring higher level armor and weapons and is our main objective. And finally, our subclass. Titans, warlocks, and hunters have 3 subclasses of different elements: solar, void, and arc, which basically gives us different options for grenades, different jumps, melees, and super abilities. They are leveled up just by playing and getting XP. Also, there is Grimoire score, but we don't care about that because the higher that level is, the higher your fluoxetine prescription is for your OCD, or you really love reading. Fighting to the ship, Ghost powers it up, and we make our escape while being watched by a mysterious figure. Our ship flies us to the last city on Earth, and we land at the tower. We'll be spending a lot of time here during our grind. Social spaces are where you pick up quests, bounties, decode engrams, I'll get to those, buy equipment, pledge to a faction, see other players, but for now, I'll talk to the Vanguard. We meet Cade 6, he gives us a new quest, we hit level 3 and get double jump, thank God, and we head back to Earth. We need to get a warp drive so we can go to other planets. We land, scan a crash ship, then scan a map of the area, and we head back to the location we found our ship originally. We learn the warp drive was taken by some Fallen, so we shoot them and their boss and get it back. As you can tell, not every mission in Destiny is created equally. For every amazing mission, there are about 5 to 6 where you run around for 20 minutes, scanning stuff that's not really that interesting. But more importantly, we got an engram, which is the best and worst part of Destiny, RNG. During gameplay, you'll come across engrams, small balls of loot that can be decoded at the tower. You also have a chance of getting a weapon or armor drop during gameplay or at the end of activities. And of course, there are rarities for all of this, with white being the worst, then going green, blue, purple, and finally yellow for exotic. Dude, these engrams had me on my knees praying to RNGesus as a 14-year-old, and now I can't go within 100 feet of a loot box. I turn my quest into Zavala, the Titan Vanguard, and get 2 more missions. Back to Earth, I head to the Skywatch and get jump scared by the second alien race in the game, the Hive. These freaky looking bud people who are only supposed to be on the moon. I kill all of them, I get a few drops, and finally unlock my super golden gun. I'm on Earth again, and I finally unlock my Sparrow. I head out to the Forgotten Shore to investigate what the Fallen are doing, and we pick up a strange frequency back to the Skywatch. The Fallen are trying to hack into something. We kill everyone and learn that it's a war mind from the Golden Age, Rasputin, an AI who is supposed to defend Earth It turns out he survived the darkness and the collapse, and is protecting something. Whatever, I got a new shotgun. We return to the tower and get a cutscene with the speaker, the one who speaks to the traveler. He says a bunch of words that don't really mean anything. Turns out the darkness is returning, and the traveler is sick, I guess? Most likely shooting whatever it is will solve our problems. We talk to all 3 members of the Vanguard, Zavala, Ikora, and Cade, to continue our quest to push back the darkness. Land back on Earth for the last time, and we fight our way into the Skywatch. Have Ghost stand a thing. We fight off waves of Hive while we raise a antenna, and we learn our next stop is the moon. We land on the moon and stand some equipment to look for a missing guardian. Miss my stupid throwing knife, kill everything in sight, go to the Temple of Crota, and find the dead guardian. Ooh, this is kind of interesting. A guardian was killed, and we are being watched by that strange lady again. We fight our way inside and learn that the Hive are raising an army to invade Earth. We go deeper into the temple. Turns out their gods are supposed to return and take over Earth. Alright, we continue our adventure by going back to the moon, standing some cracks, learn the Hive are trying to corrupt a shard of the traveler by some ritual. Also, the strange lady that has been following us finally contacts us and says to find her after we shoot everybody. We go to Venus looking for the lady and get ambushed by our 3rd race of aliens, the Vets. Robots that are controlled by a Hive mind and can teleport through time. I think they're pretty cool, and they discharge from their chest. We meet up with the Exo Stranger, who has the dumbest line in all of Destiny 1.
Who are you?
Why have you been watching us?
I don't even have time to explain why I don't have time to explain.
She says this and then proceeds to explain what we need to do to find the Black Garden and destroy it, which will save the Traveler and that the Awoken can help us. So we go meet them. We go to the Reef, the home of the Awoken. We are picked up by a patrol and are taken to meet the Queen and her dickhead brother.
We've come to ask for help.
Follow.
It is afraid of the fallen. It does not understand these ones are mine.
Apologies, Your Grace.
They say they will help us get into the Black Garden, but we need to find the head of a Vet's Gate Lord. And this is where the story confuses me. Up to this point, our missions have been going to some random planet, shooting some guys, and standing some stupid ass nonsense that really doesn't matter to the overarching narrative. But now, we have a real, well-acted cutscene. Questions like, who are these people? Why do the Fallen work for them? Why do they know where the Black Garden is? And why is Marasov so hot? This has always been my favorite part of Vanilla Destiny's story because it's actually interesting. Now back to missions that don't matter. We go to Venus to learn about the Vets, get a Mind Core, scan it, and learn how to summon a Gate Lord. Venus, again, scan this, shoot that, and we summon a Gate Lord and give him head. We return to the Reef with the Gate Lord's head, and we have another really good cutscene.
Dead, unfortunately. A wasted journey, I'm afraid.
Perhaps. But I think these ones resourceful. We gift it in sympathy for their traveler.
And we learn the location for the gate to the Black Garden.
Mars. 84 North, 32 East. Meridian Bay.
I have shown you benevolence, Guardian. Should the Awoken ever need an ally, I will call on you. And expect you to answer.
She's saying you owe us, Guardian.
We land on Mars looking for this gate, but we run into our 4th alien race, the Cabal. We fight our way through them and learn they have been researching the Black Garden as well. Arriving at the gate, we learn we need to wake up the Gate Lord's eye the Awoken gave us and use it as a key to get inside. To charge the eye, we fight our way into a Cabal outpost, Ghost puts the eye into the spire thing, and we are ready to finally enter the Black Garden. So it turns out, if we destroy whatever is in the Black Garden, we will save the Traveler. So is this the darkness? Is this what controls the Vets? I really hope we find out soon. We land on Mars, enter the gate, and we get sent to a place not in our known universe or time. Scan some stuff one last time until we find it, the Garden's heart. Whatever that thing is, we have to kill it. Man, I'm ready for a really cool boss fight. Shoot this big guy, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and you win. Destroying the heart of the Black Garden, Ghost tells us this.
The shroud of darkness is lifting, and light returns to the traveler.
And we return to the tower as a hero.
For centuries we feared the forces of darkness massing against us. We sought to hide and cower beneath a broken god. No more. These guardians show us what we are, what we have always been, and what we will be again. We are what remains of the light.
After listening to the speaker talk, we meet our Etzo girlfriend and she gives us a gift. Our first legendary weapon. Congratulations, you have completed Destiny 1's vanilla campaign. As you can tell, the vanilla campaign kinda sucks. The missions all blend together besides the last one, with the story just leaving more questions than answers. The only characters we truly interact with are the speaker, who could have been talking in hieroglyphs with how vague he was about everything, the Etzo stranger who just stalked us, felt bad about it and gave us her gun, the Awoken who are super cool but only have minutes of screen time, and our ghost who open doors and stand stuff. It has the bones of something really cool, but doesn't capitalize on anything it tries to set up. Also, they cut down the number of story missions needed to finish the main campaign. Anyway, story aside, our Guardian has finished his first campaign, has leveled up from using those crappy gray weapons and armor to having mostly green, blue, and one legendary weapon. Usually after finishing one of the main story quests, people at the tower shower you in loot, and we finally hit triple-digit light level. Also, we unlock a new hunter subclass, Blade Dancer, which is really fun, but I don't use it too often. Also, I pledged to a faction. At the tower, you have 3 different groups: Dead Orbit, Future War Cult, and New Monarchy. As an OG Dead Orbit boy, I decided to switch it up a little bit. Now time for our first expansion campaign. First, we pick up the quest from Eris Morn at the tower, and she tells us about the possible return of a hive prince named Crota. We need to head back to the moon to find his sword and destroy it. We land on the moon, find and kill 3 knights called the Swarm Princes, find the sword just chilling in some room, and kill the knights. Eris Morn gives us some backstory on this Crota guy. He's the son of some dude named Oryx, and he's the reason the Earth was destroyed. I can't believe it. Are they setting up a villain that's actually interesting? We land on Earth, run through some tunnels, find the Fist of Crota, and do what we do best. We head into Rasputin's bunker, the war mine from earlier, and see the Hive are trying to get inside his defenses and shut him down, so an invasion of Earth would go much easier. We find the control room and meet Omnigul, a wizard whose scream gives me PTSD to this very day. We kill an ogre and scare Omnigul off, saving the war mine. Back to the moon, we find and destroy the soul of Crota, which is just shooting this big green crystal, and it's done. Next in the quest is a strike, the Will of Crota, and I recruit some random guy on the Destiny 1 LFG Discord, which I used a lot. Shout out to my boy. Strikes are basically a story mission, but you have matchmaking with 2 other players with a boss fight at the end. We kill that screaming crackhead Omnigul, and that's pretty much it for the story missions. Even though we try stopping Crota from returning, he does anyway, which leads into the raid where you end up killing him. So it's very short, but I think an improvement over vanilla. We actually have characters and villains involved in the story, being Crota, his minions, and Eris Morn giving us deep lore drops over the radio. Biggest complaint is definitely the length, which feels more like a side quest than a real threat to the city, but at least we have a bad guy that isn't just a big black ball. Light level calculations for this expansion are basically the same where we left off on the base game, because when leveling up the character, the game makes you do the vanilla campaign and this campaign at the same time, which is really dumb, but don't worry, we'll make some good gains in the next campaign. Expansion 2, baby! We head to the reef, which is now open up to the Guardians, and the Queen needs a call on her favor, having us hunt down some Fallen. We talk to Petra, who tells us to kill the leader of the House of Winter, Draxus. We land on Venus, shoot our way onto his ship, and take him out. A pretty easy and uneventful mission. We return to the reef and get the real meat of the campaign, hunting down a different Fallen leader, Skolas, who escaped the reef's prison of elders. You know what? I'm just gonna read you the Wikipedia description for this mission. The Guardian is sent to Venus to stop Skolas from getting support from the House of Winter, but is unsuccessful. We are now hunting down Skolas's group of assassins, and the mission takes you outside the wall, which is a really nice throwback. Pop, pop, boom, mission complete. We land back on Earth and are on the hunt for 3 barons of different houses that Skolas is trying to bring under his banner. I nuke them with my golden gun. Skolas and his house are breaking into the Vault of Glass, where the first raid takes place, which leads to a very unique mission having to kill oracles that the Fallen are trying to tap into. Very nice. Finally, we stop jerking off and go after the big man himself. We fight our way onto Venus's citadel. We have a jumping puzzle, and once again, Bungie kills it with the skyboxes. We corner and have a really cool boss fight with Skolas. Plot twist, Skolas uses the tech from the Vault of Glass to pull all his house through time. Does time traveling the entire House of Wolves have any consequences? Maybe. It's probably in the lore, but I didn't read it. Petra and the Awoken pull up and take Skolas back to the Prison of Elders, and we head back to the reef to get some sweet, sweet loot. House of Wolves story is on the same level of Dark Below for me. You have a bad guy, chase him around, but don't kill him so you can do it in the raid. But this expansion didn't come with a raid, but a 3-player horde mode, which is still fun, but isn't as good as a full Awoken raid would have been. Anyway, the important question is, what did we get loot-wise? I picked up a few weapons and armor while playing missions, but I got a nice sidearm from Petra with some engrams, sat me nicely at level 24 and light level 132. Now, onto the best campaign.
I remember everything about the day I was born. I still bear the scars. You and I know how this ends. We've known since you escaped from that pit. The Awoken have played their part. This was all part of the plan. Guide them, my hidden friend. It is all up to you now.
Oh my god, an opening cutscene. Turns out, Crota's daddy, Oryx, wasn't very happy that we did swordplay with his son, and he died in the process. So he pulls up for some revenge. Already, this is a fantastic setup. Younger me was so sad that the queen died, I lost my first goth girlfriend. Okay, focus up. The Awoken just sacrifice themselves, leaving room for the Guardians to clean up when they figure out what's going on. We get a distress call from the Cabal base on Phobos, one of Mars's moons. So Zavala orders us to investigate. We land and find one of our most feared enemies completely ignoring us and evacuating the destroyed base. And the mission turns kinda spooky. Weird space nut is everywhere, and we see a guy get sucked by something. Oryx is here, baby, and he came with his own personal army, the Taken. Basically, a group of enemies we fought before with the Vets, Fallen, Cabal, and Hive, but are directly being controlled by the big guy. Very cool. We defeat Oryx's envoy, and now have to escape the base. We have a really good setup for our main villain. How about the other characters?
We need a warlock inside the Dreadnought.
Here we go.
Our first priority must be to protect the city.
They are taken.
Eris, get your rock off my map.
It hasn't spoken since Crota fell. It speaks now because Oryx has arrived, come to fulfill the final covenant of his son.
So we focus on his army. Kill these Taken until he's all that's left.
Whatever you kill, Oryx will replace.
The Dreadnought, then. How do we get past that weapon?
Without ending up like the Awoken.
I gotta go, see about a ship.
Cade, our discussion is not yet concluded.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm leaving.
So you're telling me we have a villain with good motivations and characters around us that actually have personality. What a concept. Anyway, we need a stealth drive to sneak our way onto the Dreadnought, and Cade has one stashed away somewhere. We land at the location of the Devil Lair strike on Earth, but the Taken have beaten us there. We have to make our way up one of the rockets in the Cosmodrome with this sweet parkour section, and at the top, you have to fight an Echo of Oryx. We get the stealth drive, but instead of heading to the Dreadnought immediately, we need to get our new subclass. We are tasked with looking for one of Cade's buddies, who went missing around the Vet's ruins on Venus. We follow his trail and find his dead ghost and a message over the radio saying he's trapped somewhere inside of Vet's portal. We head to Mars and return to the Black Garden. We need to find this guy before he dies. Well, at least I can use his bow, giving us the Night Stalker subclass. Cade attaches the stealth drive to a ship. Not ours, but Eris Morn's. We fly through the wreckage of the battle and it immediately breaks down, but we avoid an attack from the ship by landing on the home base of our enemy. We sneak around looking for a way to turn off its weapon, and so other Guardians can pull up. Finally making our way to an open opened in the hall to put down a transmat zone. And we hit level 30, so the Cabal thought they could World War II, Oryx with one of their ships. And Zavala thinks they must have information on Oryx's location. So we follow a Cabal strike team to the portal that leads to Big Daddy. But as a catch, Eris tells us we need to be a Ascendant Hive to enter the rupture, and the only way to do that is to return to the scene of the crime. We need to get Crota's soul to enter the portal. First, we need a crystal to house the soul, the same one we destroyed in the dark below. We go to the moon and pick up a piece. Not before Oryx ambushes us and we need to escape the Hellmouth. Very good mission. Next, we need stealth codes that actually work. So we break into Rasputin's bunker to steal them, and the Taken try to stop us. Pretty straightforward. We have a crystal, we have the stealth codes. Now we need to go back to where Crota was killed in the raid and suck up his essence. Must. Whatever it is we have to suck. I have no idea. We sneak in, avoiding knights and wizards until we find his soul. Get what we need, and Eris casts a spell of some kind and gets us out when the stealth fails again. The time has come to take Oryx down. We fight our way to the rupture and we can enter with the essence. We fight some more Taken as a kind of test until Oryx opens his front door so he can finally get his revenge. With a boss fight that is really fun and prepares you for the raid. We shoot him for a while until he teleports us into a circle of mist. We shoot him some more until we put the big guy down. Fantastic ending. There is also an ending scene with Eris taking something from Oryx's sword that looks like what we used to make our sword, but I don't really know. Back to the tower and we decode some engrams. Get loot from Eris, Cade Sitz, and Zavala, leaving us at a respectable level 36 and light level 176. I do some side missions like placing some patrol beacons on the Dreadnought, but this is basically where the story ends. Taken King was such a step up from the previous campaigns in terms of stakes, villains having a motivation, then just wanting to take over Earth, characters feeling distinct from each other, especially the Vanguard. We went from being purple guy, robot, and bald lady to serious stoic who makes jokes sometimes, the comic relief that has some moments of vulnerability, and finally bald lady. This DLC is the reason Cade became Destiny's mascot for the launch of D2. Besides the story and characters being better, the missions are improved, with me being able to remember what exactly happens throughout the story, and it all doesn't just mesh together. Not all missions are bangers, but like Phobos, arriving on the Dreadnought, stealing the crystal, Crota's soul, and the final boss being highlights. Best Destiny 1 campaign by a mile. Man, I really hope this level of storytelling and mission variety continues to the next one. But now, we need to grind some levels to even be able to start Rise of Iron. So, after finishing Taken King, we need to be around 280, 100 levels. Here we go. First, I wanted to see if I could even queue into a match of Crucible, and Lord willing, I was actually able to find matches of the weekly game mode, this one in the bottom left, but only in the afternoons and at night on the weekend, so my unemployed ass on a Thursday morning wasn't getting any games. Crucible in this game is still super fun, with it being more of that classic console gameplay like the older COD games, rather than Destiny 2's lobotomy simulator. Second is the more reliable, but for me less fun, strike playlists. I had to start grinding the Taken War playlist to chip away at those 100 light levels. Completing strikes, Crucible matches, and bounties gave me a small amount of reputation with the Vanguard, Shatz the Crucible handler, and my faction. When after leveling up would give me a reward package, so spamming these would be my main strategy. Quests were also a big incentive because along with getting XP and rep, they usually gave me some high level gear. So after 7 Taken War strikes, 12 Crucible matches, decoding engrams, rank up packages, post activity drops, and completing multiple quests, we did it. Time for our final story campaign, Rise of Iron.
In the years after the collapse, the world had no guardians. It had only Iron Lords. Immortal, fearless, we fought to protect the survivors of a once great age. Our battle was about more than crawling back from the shadows. The Iron Lords would give humanity back its future. Some know the legend, but no one truly knows how the Iron Lords died their final deaths. That was something you had to be there for, to witness. Now I am the lone sentry, and my watch is eternal, waiting for the day when whatever we disturbed awakens. The Iron Lords are gone, but our fight is far from over.
We see Lord Saladin, the guy who would run Iron Banner, a PvP event that would run monthly, returning to the Iron Temple on Earth. We did a flashback to around 100 years ago when a group called the Iron Lords, which included Saladin, is fighting Siva, a self-replicating machine that once helped humanity but went full Terminator trying to kill us. Almost all of the Iron Lords sacrificed themselves to seal Siva away and leave Saladin as the only one standing. Our second cutscene is Ghost telling us that the House of Devils have been scrounging around old Golden Age tech labs on Earth and have been acting strange. Lord Saladin has tasked us with going to the Iron Temple and stopping a group of Fallen from taking it over. We arrive on site and have to fight our way up to Felwinter's Peak, where the Iron Temple is located. We do our thing, shooting everything in sight until we run into a familiar face. This guy is from the Devil Lair strike in Vanilla Destiny, the first strike you unlock in the game, and he should be dead, but somehow he returned and is now red. We kill him again, and Saladin has a badass entrance. And it turns out the House of Devils have awakened Siva and are using it to do freaky stuff to their bodies, and we need to stop them. We land back in the Cosmodrome, but this time it's snowing. Easy way to make me happy is having it snow in your game. We fight our way through the wall where we first woke up, but this time the Fallen have taken a huge chunk out of it. We find some sensors or whatever, scan a computer, fight more Fallen, and learn that the House of Devils has started using Siva. Saladin orders us back to the Iron Temple, get some quests from the big man, and meet our new characters. Tyra, our Cryptarch for the new social space, and Shiro, the Vanguard Scout. Shiro has us exploring a new part of the Cosmodrome, the Pledlands, and we need to take out a Fallen military base so we can get reinforcements into the area. We break into the base, take out their artillery guns, and have a boss fight with a Fallen walker. But now it's Siva. Wow. We get back to the Iron Temple and get a little history lesson on Siva from Saladin. Next mission. Remember that brand new area we just unlocked? Man, I really hope we stay there and don't go to Mars to look for a weakness for Siva in some ancient archive. And by look, I mean have Ghost scan a computer while I shoot waves of enemies in a reused area from a strike, but it's just reversed. We head back to the Iron Temple and are now ready for the final mission. That's pretty much it. All 3 previous missions prepared us for this moment. We can finally face Siva. Landing in the Pledlands, we fight our way and do some shenanigans with some power cores. Next, we make our way to the Archon Forge and start heading deeper and deeper until we arrive at the previously sealed tomb. Entering, we have Ghost start hacking a terminal and using the code we got from Mars, but he needs time and the Fallen start attacking us. Not just the Fallen though, but the previous Iron Lords who sealed the tomb. They have been reanimated by Siva, leading to a sweet boss fight. With Ghost blowing up the tomb, we make our escape and returning to the Iron Temple, Lord Saladin makes us a new Iron Lord and gives us a sweet new sword. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the story. Disappointing coming from Taken King, but I would still rank it higher than Vanilla, Dark Below, and House of Wolves just for the fact it's snowing, we get a new explorable area, really cool final boss fight, and a new enemy race. New being kind of a stretch, but I'll give him some points for trying. Characters like Saladin, Shiro, and Tyra don't come anywhere near the character writing from the last expansion. They would only have like 5 lines per mission, where Cade would talk to you on length in Taken King. The Rise of Iron campaign is cool and very short, which I prefer to being long and boring. Now with all the story campaigns completed, Mr. Guardian over here is sitting at light level 326, with around 60-ish levels needed so we can get to the raids. I have a plan. Doing weekly activities, or the ones down here in the bottom left of the discovery, give you a certain amount of legendary marks from completion. Why, you may ask? Well, it turns out our old buddy Cade 6 sells level 380 legendary gear at the tower in exchange for the marks, and all we need is enough rep to buy different armor pieces. Seeing as I'm extremely underleveled for the Siva heroic strikes and the weekly story mission, I need to play them very carefully, or just have the other guardians carry me, which is where having friends would come in handy. After running a few more strikes, I had matched with this dude a couple times because of how low the player pool is. He told me that the Archon Forge in the Pledlands is where the real loot is. He invited me to his fire team and we ran Archon Forge for over an hour, netting me a stupid amount of engrams. After a pretty nice bump from stroking the forge,
Stroke the Forge. It's an interesting name.
I can finally run the weekly Nightfall, which is basically a set strike that has a bunch of modifiers that makes it more challenging, but also more rewarding. I did a run with my Forge buddy and get a nice exotic drop. Getting closer to that 390, now I want to do 2 important quests for weapons that aren't mandatory for the raids, but make them a whole hell of a lot easier. The Gjallarhorn and Sleeper Simulant are 2 heavy weapons that put out so much damage on raid bosses that people back in the day would have weapon racism and would not raid with you unless you had them. Also, there is a 3rd weapon in this must-have for raids tier, the Black Spindle, but I couldn't find anybody in my Discord server to help me. First is Gjallarhorn, but before we start, I need to consult somebody.
The next part of the quest opens up as soon as you finish the campaign.
Okay, the quest starts in the Pledlands and standing this thing. Next is collecting 7 medallions, so I do that. Next is completing the mission, A Symbol of Honor. I need to collect 5 dormant Siva clusters, which are collectibles scattered around the Pledlands and in Rise of Iron activities. Finally, I do the mission, Beauty and Delivery, where I fight off Fallen while Ghost builds the weapon. Then I get to use it. Gallarhorn done. Next is Sleeper Simulant, and this quest is done because you have to rely on RNG to drop you some fusion rifles from killing stuff, and during my grind, I did get them to drop, so I was kind of lucky. Next, the mission opens called the First Firewall. I get all the way to these knights and need to enter their code into a transceiver. I totally get it right first try. Next is running the mission Shadow Call and getting a fusion core that requires 5 things. Completing 1 story mission, dismantling a legendary heavy weapon, then the annoying part. Go to Earth, the Moon, and Mars, and wait for a Warsat public event to happen and complete it. Finally, give it to the gunsmith, wait a day, then go to the Fallen Saber Strike, and we got it. After getting our 2 raid weapons and grinding for a while, where are we light level wise? After 16 heroic strikes, 6 heroic missions, 1 doubles PvP match, 1 Prison of Elders and 1 Challenge of Elders run, 2 Nightfalls, and finally 26 Archon Forge runs, my light level is 392, and I'm now ready to raid. I did this one first because it was the featured for the week and everything went great till it didn't. See, I'm a certified dumbass. I thought my 7-year-old knowledge of these raids was good enough to just hop back in and run them real easy. I was fine for most of the raids besides one. Also, little did I know that the people still doing Destiny 1 raids are god tier gamers. Crazy strategies I have never heard of. Glitching and clipping into walls, completely skipping large chunks of encounters. I was a virgin raider in a group of elite D1 players. Massive shout out to everybody I raided with because they helped me along and were patient, but I could not shake the feeling that I was a burden. Wrath went fine. Spawn in. Fight on the outside. Boss then goes inside and we follow. We were on Vosik for a while because of some communication errors and we had a few drinks. For the Vosik encounter, you need to throw bombs that lower his shield to do a damage phase. Look out for monitors on the back wall that could wipe the fire team, and run to a safe room so you don't die. After that was a Zamboni, which I died during, so I just sat there and watched. And finally was the 2-phase Axis fight, which consists of throwing balls at him. You get from killing servitors with a certain cannon, then in phase 2, throwing more balls, dunking him when he teleports, and doing a damage phase until you win. Super simplified version of the raid, but overall, people were nice, and I really enjoyed playing Wrath of the Machine, even if we spent 80% of our time on the first raid boss. Spawn in, protect the confluxes to open the door. Of course, I died, so I missed the first Templar phase, but it's just killing ads and oracles while cleansing in the pool if you get Vet's juice on you. Next was the main Templar fight and was really quick and easy. Kill more oracles, kill snipers, relic runner shoots him for damage, and make sure he doesn't teleport. Next was the Gorgon Maze, which I just went to orbit for so I wouldn't lag behind, and made it to the boss room. We do the first gatekeeper part of protecting a conflux of Minotaurs, then on to Atheon. We need to open 2 portals while 3 people are teleported inside. Kill the oracles so you don't wipe. Everybody gets in the middle and damages Atheon until he dies. Overall, a very smooth and nostalgic run. Also, this is my personal favorite raid. We ran through the pit, build a bridge by standing on 2 totems, kill a sword bearer, cross the bridge, kill the other sword guy, and repeat until everyone is over. Next was Air Ute. Kill all enemies until sword spawns, kill Air Ute with sword. Lastly was Crota. One person gets sword, everyone else shoots Crota to down him, they do sword play, and others kill the oversoul in the back. Repeat until Crota dies. This was like a speed run, with it only taking like 21 minutes. Very short, very fun. And finally, my personal hell, King's Fall. Open the portal by dunking balls, do the totems by standing on the totems, and having people run a circuit to deposit Death Sinner's power to open a door. Next was the War Chief fight, where you stand on the plates, everyone reads the order, the last person gets the buff, needs to keep it up by killing ads while everyone else shoots the big guy. A very smooth first 20 minutes until we reached Goldaroth, this slimy asshole. It took us a while because I couldn't figure out the stupid challenge mode and had a wipe that was completely my fault when I got unstable light and didn't see it, killing 3 of my teammates, which I felt horrible about. I'm still sorry, guys. After that was the penis jumping puzzle. We destroyed the Death Singers in one go, which consists of standing on plates while one person runs, gets a buff, slams it on the Death Singer, then we all shoot them. Then it was time for the final boss. Oryx took us around 30 minutes with a few wipes. You need to stand and run like before, but now ogres spawn. Once killed, they drop a bomb. After 4 bombs in each location, you dunk them and kill them. In between all that are a few phases where you just have to survive. Killing Oryx, I got some sweet loot and it was around 1 AM, so I went to bed. Moral of the story, I should have done my research. All the other raids went fine, but if I would have just watched one video about the King's Fall challenge mode or just a refresher on Goldaroth, it would have gone so much smoother. Huge props to my patient fire team. So that's it. There was a bunch of stuff I missed. Getting Black Spindle, a exotic sword, full raid gear, min-maxing my perks, raid primaries, grind to level 400, and so much more, but I feel like I did pretty good. I completed what I set out to do and had a blast going back to my most played game. The grind was fun, the people I met along the way were so nice, and it turns out Destiny 1 still has a decent player count in 2025. But now I'm addicted. Maybe I'll go back for that sword, or maybe I'll do the unspeakable. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of the video and...
Warning. Incoming hostiles.
Oh no, not again.